All right, great Tuesday morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. And we're in with our 15 minutes to mastery as we do each and every day to bring you some information, inspiration, and motivation to get your day started off on the right foot. And this is episode number 314 of our 15 minutes to mastery segment. And today we're talking about helping people make an informed decision. Right? So check this out. Thomas Jefferson wrote, whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. That whenever things get so far wrong as to attract their notice, they may be relied on to set them to rights. What about you? What about your customers? Can they be trusted to set things to right? I remember growing up as a kid that I wanted to make sure that everybody thought I was doing the right thing, that I wanted to make sure, just this camera here, that everyone felt that I was doing the right thing. And to me, it mattered what people said about me or what they thought I was doing. And not to say it's not important, right? Your people's perspective of you is important, especially when you're in business. But as a kid, even more so, because you're navigating through life, you're growing, and so you don't know really how to make some certain decisions. You're unaware of things, so being approved by others is important. And so the same thing happens with your buyers. All right, your buyers in the manufactured home industry, a lot of them care what everyone else is going to say about them, what everyone else is going to say about their decision to buy a home and what home they bought. And so they could also be influenced, right, by misconceptions that lead to them to make choices that down the road are going to cost them more money, right? And so think about it. Think about how emotions and the wrong information can lead to poor decisions. How many times have you made a decision that you just thought afterwards, like, why in the world did I even do that? Right. And so a lot of the people that come to look to buy homes, okay, just like when they come here, Tyler, Texas, at Mobile Home Masters, where I'm at this week, and they may already have some information that their friends told them, their family told them, don't buy a manufactured home. Manufactured homes are not well built. Oh my gosh, they blow away, they fall apart, they're built with cheap materials, so on and so forth, right? And so then they come in and they get rattled by all that, and they decide to go buy a site-built home, and it winds up costing them 3 or 4 times as much as they uh, would have spent on a home, or they wind up settling for much less of a house because it's all they can afford because of the prices of homes, right? Now, here's the thing though. The same thing can happen to us, can happen to you as a housing consultant, as a community manager. You could make decisions in your career without being fully informed about the industry, about the product, about your company, and so that could lead to costing you down the road. So how so? We're going to get into that as we move along, right? But think about your customer's perspective. Now, they'll usually come in with some sort of preconceived notions about manufactured homes, right? They Is it going to lose its value? That's the main one, right? The materials, cheap materials. The house is not safe. It's going to blow away. Is there even financing? Why is that? Why are the interest rates so high on these things? When you're buying the home only. So all of those things can make it difficult for your buyers, your potential buyers, to make a decision to buy a home. And this is all information that's incorrect. You hopefully know that information is incorrect, right? And so they hesitate to make a decision, right? Or they make a decision based on the wrong information. And so it delays them buying a home, or they end up paying way too much for a house, or not getting everything that they needed simply because they decided not to buy a manufactured home because of having the wrong information. And so now you, as the community manager, you as a housing consultant, now it's your job to be able to guide them through all of this wrong information. and help them understand what the reality of it is, right? Provide them the right information so they can make an informed decision. So, but how are you going to be able to do that when you yourself also are making decisions off of wrong information, right? So think about it. You can fall in the trap of, right, just limiting beliefs that you have of yourself, limiting beliefs that you have of your product, limiting beliefs that you have about the company that you're working for. All of these things can happen, right? Maybe you're relying on old sales methods, right? This is how we've always done it for the last 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Since the dawn of time, the dawn of man, we've done it this way in the manufactured home industry. And this is the way we do it. And you wonder why you struggle. Or maybe you make assumptions about your clients without really asking the questions, really not taking the time to get to know them, not really spending the time to understand your buyer so that you can best help them, not understanding their emotional buying motives, their dominant buying motives, or emotional triggers as far as why they're looking to buy a home. You're just trying to set the appointment. You're just trying to get the deal done without really finding out. And so it winds up affecting you, right? Or you avoid, maybe you avoid investing in yourself, or if you're the owner, if you're a retailer, if you're a community, maybe you avoid investing in your team to get them the support and the training that they need so that they can go ahead and improve, because you think that they know enough already. Well, my guys have been doing this for a few years already. They know what it is, right? So you, as a community manager, housing consultant, you're making decisions based on incomplete information. You're making the decisions that can affect your success down the road, that can cost you money, leave money on the table. And that's what happens to a housing consultant or a community manager or anyone involved in the sales side of the organization, or really organization as a whole, even on your back end, the operations. If you don't stay informed, because you risk losing credibility, you risk losing opportunities, and you risk losing the ability to help your clients effectively. That's what happens when you're not informed, when you're not staying informed, when you're not continuing to learn about the issues that affect what you do on the daily. So how can you make sure that you are getting informed? How can you make sure that you are operating to the best of your ability? Okay. Well, let's go over the list here that we've got for today. First and foremost, you've got to do some thorough research. You've got to make sure, and if you're potentially buying a manufactured home and you're watching this, okay, we get a lot of people that are in the market that run across our 15 minutes to mastery, and so they pay attention. I've gotten some questions in the past from buyers that reach out to me directly. If you're in the market to buy a home, or if you are in the business, you need to make sure you're doing your research thoroughly on the product, on your company, on the industry itself, finding out what direction it's going to. Right now, manufactured housing is in the limelight, in the spotlight when it comes to solving the affordable housing crisis around the country, right? So make sure you're doing thorough research. Make sure you're asking the right questions. Buyers, ask the right questions of your housing consultant, of your community manager. Clear the doubts, clear the insecurities, make sure that those things are being addressed. Don't sit back and not address the questions you have, because you just don't want to offend that person that's helping you, or for whatever reason, because you're just wasting your time. Same thing with you, housing consultants and community managers. Ask the right questions. Make sure you're getting all the information you need from your buyer, and really getting to understand their situation and how you can best help them. But you're not going to know that unless you're asking the right questions. You also need to seek professional guidance and mentorship. You housing consultants, community managers, you need to research. Look for people that do this at a higher level than you, and reach out to them and get the information that you need. Okay. We just put out the last of our 4-part series to our database and online on building influence, behavior and influence. And we put out the last section yesterday, part 4 of it, which we did it over the last 4 weeks. And I had about 3 or 4 people that actually emailed me asking for all 4 parts because they didn't pay attention to the other ones. They just skipped over them or whatever, didn't don't remember where they put them, whatever the case may be, even though they're all alike. But those are the type of people that I would say, man, if I could get a hold of that person and put them on my team, because they are searching out the information, they're seeking that information. But you also have to verify the information, make sure it's correct, make sure that you're not being misled, make sure that the people that are telling you about these things are credible, right? What do their actions show? What have they done in the past to be able to say that this is how it should be? Okay. And lastly, evaluate the long-term effect. Don't just think about right now. Don't just think about what sounds good right now. Don't just think about what your emotion and getting caught up and wrapped up in the emotion of right now. Think about what's this going to be like 4 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. I buy this home. Is it going to benefit me long term? As my career, if I take the actions and learn this, is it going to benefit me and my loved ones down the road? Look at the long-term effect. Right now, we're so conditioned on our phones. Right now, it's just about right now and scrolling and short attention spans that we are getting away from thinking through how is this decision today going to affect me in the future. I've made bad decisions in my life, some that have landed me in spots that I wish I wasn't been. Jail, yeah. It's bad relationships, yes. In trouble with my loved ones, heck yes. Because you don't think about long-term effects, right? But luckily now, mature, better person in a different spot, and you live and you learn and you grow, right? So this is why it's so important that you as home buyers, that you as housing consultants, community managers are getting informed on the issues and making the right decisions based on the information. Because just like Thomas Jefferson said, whenever people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. That whenever things get so far wrong as to attract their notice, they may be relied on to set them to rights. So when you are well informed, you can be trusted with your own government. Right? So that when things get so bad, you actually notice that things are bad. And then you can be relied on because you're well informed to set things right, to get things going in the right direction. Which leads me to another point. Get informed. Things are bad in our own government. Make sure that you are informed. Tonight would be a great night. If you've never been involved politically, believe me, I understand. I get it. And I was one of those guys for years. I don't get involved in politics. But when you're informed and you look at what's going on, you notice, hey, something's not right here. Something's got to change. And it can't be an emotional decision, right? Like we talked about earlier. You have to evaluate the long-term effects. Okay, if I choose this person, even though that person sounds cool and that person is all about joy, right? We don't even get started on that. But anyway, what's that effect going to be 2 years down the road, 4 years down the road, 10 years down the road? Okay. You've got to think about the long-term effects, but you need to get informed. Just because you may not I'll be honest, there's certain candidates, right? The people right now are like, they just despise this guy. And I was one of those people back 10 years ago that was like, really? Him? But I'll tell you right now, seeing what's gone on over the last 8 years and where we're at right now and how people are being affected by what's gone on over the last 4 years, there's no way that I could not go that direction with this guy and decide to go because it's just the information being spewed is not correct. So all I'm telling you is get informed, find out, make a decision, because that decision, you better be informed one, because that decision will have really, really strong effects on what happens from here on out for these, not just these next 4 years, but for a very long time, folks. So get informed so that you can do your part, get everyone together and go out and vote. Go out and vote and make things right. Okay. I'm gonna put it out there for you again. Whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. That whenever things get so far wrong as to attract their notice, things get really, really bad that even I'm noticing. Me, this guy from the west side of San Antonio that really just grew up not even understanding anything. When I can notice that things aren't right, they may be relied on to set them to rights. That's the beautiful thing about our country. But we've got to make sure we're making the right decision to save it. Thank you, Thomas Jefferson, for writing that. And thank you guys for being a part of our 15 Minutes of Mastery. And we come in each and every day to help you take your life, which includes what's going on right now, your business and your career, to a whole new level. Go out there, be informed, kick ass today, make it a great day, and let's go do some awesome things. Don't forget also, folks, we're going to be at SECO. All right. If you're going to be at SECO 24 next week in Atlanta, Georgia, booth 66667, that's where you can find us. Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. Come meet the team. We're going to be out there. We'll get you the information you need and get things going for you and your teams, because you have seen what we're doing across the country, and we can do the same thing for you and your team. Have a great day. And as always, I can't wait to meet you.